Welcome back everyone, and thanks for watching. My name's Mike and this is Build and Tinker, and we're carrying on with our John Wick Mustang. This is pack 2, issues 3, 4 and 5. But today we're going to be skipping issue 4 because it hasn't arrived. We've only got 3 and 5. There's a stock shortage of issue 4. I still can't get my head around how you can be short of one issue this early in the build, but there we are. Seems to be something that happens occasionally. So we got a letter instead of the issue explaining that we'll get it at some point. I have no idea when, and I've been holding off on this video waiting for it, but I don't really want to wait any longer. So hopefully it won't hold us up too long. What we did get in this pack though is the first of the free gifts, which is a set of posters. And just like with the Supra, they squished them into the box and they've creased them and they're kind of worthless now. So thanks Fanhome. Please roll them up, stick them in a bigger box. It's pointless sending us stuff and destroying it before it even arrives. So rant over, let's get on with building this model. So with issue 3 we do at least get some chunky pieces, and as you can see here we've got front bumper, front grille, some lights and a license plate. So let's start putting these together. First we need to get them out of the box. Now, as with all the large bodywork pieces like this, you always get a few at the beginning of a build. We've already had the hood, now we've got the front bumper, and it was the same with the Supra that we're building as well. They will not go on the car for a while, so we need to find a way to look after them so that they don't get damaged, because it could be a year before this gets attached to the car. The good thing is it comes in this rather solid feeling piece of plastic, which is great for storing these parts. So hopefully we'll be able to get the bumper back in, at least to some degree, once we finish the assembly. And the first part of the assembly is to take this large black plastic grille and start to install some headlights. So there are 2 sets of headlights here, and I don't suppose they're the same. So one is the high beams and one is the low beams. So we are putting high beam lights into here. Okay, so the high beam ones are the smaller ones, and they have 2 little screw holes either side, a little locator to make sure you get it the right way up. So you'll see there is a little locator inside the recess, so that you can't really get it wrong. They also have their numbers on the back. So it says L2. And this one says R2, so it's obviously for the right hand side of the car as you look out. So that is the right hand side of the car. That's going to drop into there. This one's going to drop into here. Simple as that. And then we screw them in with some D screws. And they're just screwing gently from behind. So don't over tighten them, it's all plastic, so we don't need to go crazy. And then we have the lenses. Now the lenses look like they're a similar size, but they're not. You've got 2 smaller ones and 2 large ones, and they also have a little tag on one part. So we need to make sure we get them the right way up. It gives you no indication in the magazine as to which way the right way up is, but I'm just going to have a feel with my finger to see. Okay, yeah, so there is a little indent in the top on this side. Sorry, it's actually the bottom of the reflector housing. So we need to get this little tag lined up with that. And then it's just a push and the lens will stay in. Same on this side. That tag also makes sure that all of the lens marking, or the sort of the beam deflection and everything, is sort of pointing the right way. And there we have our finished grille with the lights in it. Well, not quite finished, because we've obviously got to put the iconic Mustang badge on. So again, there's a little pin at the bottom and then a screw hole at the top. Although it'd be hard to get it upside down because the horse obviously needs its legs at the bottom. Now I've pushed it in and it's actually holding quite tight. I mean, it looks like there's a screw hole, but I don't see there's absolutely no mention of fitting a screw. Which is interesting. Doesn't feel like it needs one. It does look like at some point they had the idea that they might fit one and change their minds, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And now we need to repeat the process for the front bumper. So this is the main part of the bumper. It's actually metal, but it has a similar requirement in that we take these reflectors, we drop them in, and then we fit the lenses. Again, making sure we put the left one on the left. It's marked L1 and this one's marked R1, so it's pretty straightforward. And there is a little locating tag as well, which actually on this one goes out to the side. And some more D screws. And there are the reflectors in place, and then we pop the lenses in. Again, there's a little tag on the lens, so find the tag and then just have a feel. Where's the recess for that tag? Okay, it's at the bottom. So we need to get the tag lined up at the bottom. And try and push the lens in. It's not the best fit in the world. I mean, it fits, but I'm not sure what's going to hold it there. We'll see. I notice it's popped out already. Yeah. You may find yourself wanting to put a dab of glue on these because that just pops out. I think you're supposed to hold it in with hopes and prayers, but I fear that won't be enough. Let's try the other one. Oh, I've got a click, but it still didn't stay in. I don't want to break anything. Well, they're about as useful as a chocolate fire guard. There's no way they're staying in without glue. The fog lights or the main beams did really well, but these ones, neither of them are looking remotely like they want to stay put. Doesn't matter what I do, they just pop out again. Poor show, really, Fanhome. Poor show. However, we can resolve it with some trusty super glue. Obviously we want to be really careful because we've got chromed pieces, we've got paint, and we've got clear pieces which obviously can not look good with certain types of glue. So you're not going to need a lot, just enough to stop it falling out under its own weight, and it doesn't weigh a lot, so it just feels a little bit like someone should have tested this a bit more. Okay, so we're going to pop those lenses back in there, and I will glue those off camera. The next thing is this chrome piece that goes around the outside of the grille, and we actually fit it to the bumper first. It follows the shape of the bumper, so it's kind of obvious where it goes, and it just drops in. There are some... Well, this one's got a tag sticking out of it, which I don't see on the diagram, and there really is nowhere for that tag to live. I think that's supposed to have come off during manufacturing. Yeah. So there we go. That's better. Okay, so I've just gone and taken a knife to that piece of plastic that was supposed to have been removed when it was demolded, and I think it wasn't completely flush, so I've just made that flush, and now this chrome piece fits in a bit better. It's got these little plastic studs that hold it in. I think that's the only thing that holds it in. There's nothing that's going to screw into it. There may be something that goes over the front later, maybe, but the main grille goes over the rear, so that's not holding it in, and it just drops over the aperture there, and there are 4 pretty obvious screw locations, and we use the E screws for that, and there are 4 of them. And that's the grille now attached with the chrome surround and all of our lights, but only 2 of the 4 lenses have stayed in, so a little bit disappointing, but we can fix it. Now, apparently that's the end of this assembly stage, although we do have this license plate, but obviously as yet nothing to attach it to, because my guess is it goes onto a lower part of the bumper or front valance. So we will keep that handy and safe out the way, and it does look like we can actually put the bumper back in the box with everything attached, and we're not going to lose our lenses. Okay, so we can put the lid back on, everything's nice and safe, and we can put this in our box of bits along with our spare screws, and we'll move on to, well, the next issue should have been issue 4. I don't know what we would have got with it. So issue 4 obviously we need to skip, and we are now going to have a look at issue 5. It looks like issue 4 was part of the engine. I did try to look at the assembly guides on the Fanhome website, but for some reason on the John Wick page none of the assembly guide links are working. So no comment. So let's get this open and see what we've got. So we've got a big chunk of engine block here, some screws, the cover, the engine cover, powered by Ford. That's quite nice. It's plastic, but it's two piece. It's got sort of 2 colours, and another piece of engine here. Not sure what piece that is. It's not going to be a lot to do with this one. We start actually by taking the 2 pieces out of this bag, and there's a very small yellow piece, and then this end plate, and the end plate goes on the end here of this cylinder head. We basically just, there's a little, and we can see the shape of it. Yeah, it can only go one way, so we drop it over there. But it makes no mention of attaching this, but it also doesn't stay, so I really don't understand that. So we're going to take the cover, and we're going to pop it over the top here, and it lines up with a couple of screw holes, into which we put some C screws. Massive bag for 3 little screws. That's actually potentially quite a useful bag, so we probably won't throw that one away. And then another screw here in the bottom. So we've now got our rocker cover on, and there is this little dipstick head. It's the end of a dipstick, and it goes into a little hole here. Just sticks out. That looks quite cool. It's quite a nice piece. That's as much as we can assemble. Obviously we're supposed to have this piece attached, but it kind of stays in with this cover, but it's very loose. Okay, I'll reserve judgment. Maybe once we get another piece on the bottom that's going to hold into place and it's all going to go together, but they could have just molded it so that the little the little slidey piece that goes into the hole in the block was a tiny bit wider, and it would have gripped. Either that, or they just need to change instructions and ask you to fit it second, because actually putting it in second, and it kind of holds in place now. So maybe I was a bit harsh, but I'm just following their instructions, and it you know, I can only call it as I find it at the time, and I'll try always to be as honest as I can. So my honest opinion is it seems to be fitting now. I don't know what we missed in issue 4. It was obviously an engine part, and my guess is then, as this is the top half of the engine, it was probably something to do with the bottom half of the engine, but it hasn't asked us to attach this to anything, so we pop these parts aside now and wait for the next issue, and we'll see whether or not that includes issue 4, or whether, if it doesn't, whether it's going to hold us up, but we shall see. What I will say is this is quite, I really like the top of this engine block. It has this, I don't know how well you can see that, the lighting kind of disappears when I get too high, but it's got this really nice sort of finish on it, and embossed with "Powered by Ford." The dipstick looks pretty cool, and I'm guessing we're going to see lots of spark plug related bits and pieces, maybe, or wires or something going in around here. So I think there's going to be a bit of detail on this, and I like the finish. So that's the end of issue 5 and the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. I hope you didn't mind my complaining too much about the bits I didn't like. But I said I will always try and be honest about how I find it, and I don't open these packs in advance, so I never know what I'm going to find. I try to build it the way you guys will, which is to open the parts and see what happens. So click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the like button. Hopefully by the next video we'll have that issue 4 as well, and be able to continue in the right order. But the moment I have it, I'll make sure it's included in that next video. So have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.